Hey there, and happy Wednesday afternoon. So my goal today is to bring you this card and show you 3 different variations of it. So I've been trying to use this layout because everybody has loved the stamp set Shepherd's Care, and so I didn't want to gyp anybody at my 4 different locations this month. I wanted everybody to be able to make something with this. And this time of year, Stampin' Up! Offers such pretty papers that I want to show you kind of the different variations, and also a fun way to split up some note cards and kind of double your projects with that. So so stay tuned. I'm going to make probably one for sure all the way through, maybe most of the second one, and then the third one I'll just show you a color option. But also then I'll kind of keep packing up for my retreat that starts tomorrow. But I also want to come to you maybe in a couple hours, 2 to 3 hours, and show you some more projects of kind of like same layout, just switching out papers too. So you get a double feature, and we'll see about 6 cards before the day is done. So let me get my camera turned around for you here as I get started. And yeah, it's just I'm kind of packing as I go, and as I clear off what I've got ready to video, then I can show you my things and know that you'll have lots of inspiration while I'm gone over the weekend. All right, so here we have card number 1, and this is using that Shepherd's Care stamp set. Let me grab that. It is in the mini catalog. I should have gotten that ready because I've been using so many of the online exclusives that I forgot that this one is actually in the mini catalog, page 56. Oops, towards the back here. All right, here we have it. And I love how they've used just simple things for their project ideas. And you can see there's this. What I loved about it was just the simple Christmas theme of it. And then I looked closer and I went, he heals the brokenhearted and binds up their wounds. I will be using that on my next video later. But I thought, oh, how nice that this is for Christmas. But it also is like, he is the hope of the world at all times. So you can use this for other occasions besides just Christmas too. So I will be making the Christmas cards first for you from that. And but as you can see, a very nice rubber mount stamp set here. So this this takes a lot of the stamps out for this project, which is good. I said to some people as we were creating together with this that it reminds me of the beginning of Stampin' Up! When I started like over 30 years ago, just stamping with friends, and there weren't the products that there are now. There was hardly any punches, if at all. There was no die cutting, so we did a lot of stamping. So there's a lot of stamping on here. Now you'll see this pretty kind of background here, and these are the brushed gold cards and envelopes, and so those come out of the annual catalog, a set of 20. Yes, 20. So I had to double check because it's like, really, is there 20 of them? Yes. So so the note cards are like this, and they fit in, they're the same size, I like to point out, as our regular cards, and then these pretty envelopes to go with, right? So what I've been doing with these for this project here is I take out my trimmer. Let me grab that here. And because when you give somebody a card, yeah, they'll see the back, but let's have all the ooh on the front. If we cut it in half, we're going to get the ooh and the ah on the front times 2 cards now. So I'm going to cut that in half. And then as you can see, there's more of the gold on this side. So I'm going to trim this side down 1/4 inch. So now that's going to be at 4 inches. And then I actually took the time to look at it and go, there's more gold on this end than this end. So this end's going to get trimmed down to 5 1/4. So this is my normal like card front when I'm putting a layer on top of a card base. Hi there, Amy and Kathy. So this is like true to that same measurement. But so now we've taken that gold cards and envelopes, cut it in half, cut it down, and then we are ready to go. Now I have to make sure I have the smaller one for my card before I do all my stuff with it. And so granted, because this comes as a set of cards and envelopes, now you'll have more cards than envelopes, but half the people are going to get the pretty ones. Send those to those you care about most. Just kidding. But you'll have that, at least half of those. Okay, so with this now we're ready to stamp. And I chose crumb cake just kind of for subtle, but I always feel like crumb cake goes well with gold tones. And so I'm just going to take, oh, it was actually that stamp that I kind of had in my hand. I forgot that I put it away. This one with all the dots. So it can be stars, it can be snow, it can just be like a background image for you to use. So that works out well. Let's see if it's going to fit on this one. There we go. So let me just kind of stamp here and there. And a lot of this gets covered up by that main focal point too, which is okay. Okay, so we just have that going there along the edges, but I feel like it kind of fills in that space. And then the crumb cake next to the gold, it almost looks like it is still part of the pattern. So it's kind of a fun thing that way too. And now for my card base, for this first card, I'm using Night of Navy. And so I'll just get out my bone folder here, and that's ready to go. And I'll just get some tape on here. And then we have that. Okay. And then I'm going to put my ribbon on next, because the top step, I'll know like how much space or kind of where it should go. So for ribbon, I had about 3 to 4 different gold choices, because this is part of a 2-pack. And by the time I figured out like, oh yeah, this is the ribbon, this one was unavailable and ready to come back in. So sometimes the joy of classes, I used to kind of feel almost bad, like, oh no, everybody can't make the same card. And so it is fun to see though when I lay out choices, like the ribbon I'm going to show for today's video is retired. But I have to remember, people might have this in their stash and go, oh, that's going to look great. I'm going to get out that ribbon. This is just gold shimmer ribbon. And then you can use that up. So that's always a good reminder of, hey, do you have that? Use it. And people love choices. So maybe what's current in the catalog isn't their favorite choice. So at my classes, then when I can offer different choices, that works out kind of nice too. So I have that going along the edge, that gold shimmer ribbon. Okay, so now ahead of time, what I did is, let me grab a different one. This one has some ink on it. All right, I just don't like that. I think it's ink. I've got another one. So those Nested Essentials dies, I cut those ahead of time. And then I'm going to use the same crumb cake ink pad, and we've got this whole scene here with the shepherd and the sheep, and so we've got that all ready to ink up with one color, because this is one of those distinctive stamped or stamp sets. So it looks a little bit dark until like in a minute or two it'll dry, and it'll get a little lighter, and all the different textures and stuff will show through. I love, and I've said this before, the distinctive stamp sets, because with one ink pad you get all that shading. You don't have to do anything with that. And it kind of comes through in just even this littlest star. So I'm going to stamp that up and put that up in the corner, so you can kind of see as it dries that there's the star that's going to be front and center, and then kind of a little bit of glow around that there as well. Okay, and then to coordinate this, I'm pulling out some Night of Navy ink, and then that I'm going to ink up the Peace on Earth, and that's going to be stamped right over top the shepherd. Because this is darker, that's still going to show up really well, and it doesn't mess with the inks or do anything either. So now this is ready to go on my card front. So just, you know, stamp, 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 and otherwise it's pretty quick and easy. So for people that are like, you know, I want to make my Christmas cards but don't have a lot of time, well, you could already be purchasing like these gold cards and envelopes, 20 of them in a package, cut them in half like that, and that's like 40 of those layers right there that look like super cool. So that helps. And then this, I'm just gonna kind of, oh nope, I have to add one more thing. I've got this big star here, and so I'm going to take and ink that up in crumb cake, and that's just gonna go in the corner, and it's gonna stay almost kind of tucked behind this next layer here. But I kind of thought it was fun to have the star close and then the one from afar as well. So it's kind of subtle there in the background, but I like that look there. So I've got that, and then with all the dimensionals, that's popped up. And then for accessorizing this particular card, I got out the Opal Rounds assortments. These are the ones that are kind of from that citrusy lemon Mediterranean look. And I just thought, well, let's pull out that package because it's got some blues and yellows, and even the clear would be nice too. So I'm just going to take a large blue and a small blue, and then for the star, I'm just going to take a small one of the kind of clearish but some yellow tone to that and put that on there like so. So we've got the embellishments kind of subtle like that star is, and still tying that blue together that way. And then for the inside, I just have my standard 4 by 5 1/4 piece of basic white, and I'm going to go with that same large star, ink that up again in crumb cake. And then, because everything just takes so little time to dry, I can go right over top that with the Night of Navy and put that over top my star. And this saying says, praying that you will feel the Good Shepherd's care in this season and throughout the coming year. So this one also goes really well with that initial verse I talked about with He Heals the Brokenhearted. And so it just is just a really nice stamp set. It's a $1 Million Achiever stamp set. So if you know anything about that, it means that a demonstrator that reached $1 million in career sales through Stampin' Up! Helped design the stamp set. So we were really excited to cheer on that person because it does make it a little bit more personal too when that happens. So you've got a pretty easy Christmas card put together with that. But wait, there's more. I'm going to move on and just show you here. These are the couple other options, and using the same layout and everything there. I just want to show you the difference here. So, and what I did differently. So for this one, let's see. Am I doing that, or should I do? I'm trying to think which one I want to do. Trying to think if I have my pretty peacock. Maybe I'm going to grab red. That's what I'm going to do. Okay. Hold on, pivot. I grabbed my pretty peacock accessories for paper, but my Real Red supplies for ink and such. So, but they're coming from the same pretty package of paper, and I'll show you that here in a second. So that, you can see this, how gorgeous is that? On the back side even is just a fun, like, it looks like when a painter has their canvas all brushed up with the texture of just a solid color, but puts in added like browns and things. And that is all from this Season of Elegance 12 by 12 Designer Series paper from the mini catalog. And a lot of you got to use this. You've seen this in action on one of my fun folds. It's just kind of the basic beige and cream color or vanilla. And then there's 2 different types of green here. We've got Pretty Peacock and then Real Red, but all with lots of that gold foil just kind of splattered throughout the pattern, and it's really pretty. So then for this one, all I'm going to do is start with my Real Red card base, and then put this on here like so. And for this ribbon, even though this is Real Red and gold, I still liked the Cherry Cobbler with that gold stripe. And I know I just use that, but I've been using tons of this. I had like 3 spools, and I think I might be able to make 2 cards out of this. Nope, 1 card. And that's going to be about the end of the spool. But then yeah, it'll almost be used up. So I've been finding lots of fun Christmas projects to use with this because it just is so pretty for this time of year. And let me just snip that off. Okay, and then same thing. So I can take this and then just stamp out with the crumb cake again and ink that up. And then that, I'm not going to take the time to stamp like the Peace on Earth, but you can see it here. So I just switched out from that first card being a navy. Now I'm switching that out to real red. And I tell you what, another change that I made, I thought white might look too stark, and I kind of liked the warmer look of having very vanilla on top of the gold and red. So I swapped that top piece out to very vanilla as well. So you can see that. And then for the gems here that I used, I switched over to the Tinsel Gems 4-pack, and these look so yellow, but it's always amazing to me how Stampin' Up, the reason why people love it is because of things coordinate. So I thought, what would this yellow look like though if I put it on top of red or on top of gold? And it turns out looking really fun. It almost brings that color up from underneath and then makes it look goldish yellow in a really fun, special way too. So that's what I put on this card. And then the other difference is I didn't do that star because I thought, well, that's just going to blend or kind of almost make it look messy because there's so much going on pattern-wise on that one too. And then the third one I shouldn't need to make or explain. So then from this take, I go on to this one. Same Season of Elegance Designer Series Paper Specialty Pack here. And I'm using the Pretty Peacock version. But there again, we have that gold foil embossed look in there. And for the ribbon, I chose from the annual catalog, the metallic Pretty Peacock and gold metallic ribbon. So this kind of has the Pretty Peacock and the gold just woven through all together, and this is really easy to work with, easy to make your knots and your bows really pretty. And so that just, I was like amazed how fun this looked together. And then the inside there too, just like the red one and the blue one, do the star and then your ink to coordinate. For the embellishments here, then I did some digging. Like, it's like always like the hunt of making everything coordinate, but it's such a fun hunt, right? So we have these Petal Pink and Pretty Peacock foil gems. Well, the Pretty Peacock has that gold foil, like it says, and it makes it look just like this paper. So it looks like it went through the process at the same time. So you couldn't get hardly a better match than that for this card. So this was kind of fun to put together too. So hopefully that gives you some inspiration. And some of you are like, you know what, I can only handle so much of doing the same card, but maybe like the stamp set when it comes to doing Christmas cards and you have to make a lot in your whole process of, you know, doing the step-by-step and however you like to put your cards together. So I thought, oh, this will be fun to show you that kind of as a three-way project like so. So what I'm going to do is post, after I post the video, I'll post still shots of each card with their, supply list. There we go. I was going to say directions. Directions are the same basically with each of their supply lists and such. But then the link, I think when I do that link, some of you like it when I have that little hyperlink that you can click on and then it adds everything to your cart. And then some of you say, I love adding everything to my cart. And then I can just delete things that I maybe don't need, don't want, already have, things like that. And then it just gets down to the things I want. And then you can shop that way. So that will have, the link will have all the products together. So that way it's kind of a nice catch-all so you don't miss anything either. And then if you do happen to order, I would appreciate it if you use my host code if your order's less than $150. Otherwise, if it's over $150, then go ahead and use those rewards yourself because then you get a little something from me still for shopping with me. I always send out a thank you, and then you'll get your host rewards, which are 10% based on your order or more if you spend more too. So take care for now. And like I said, I'll be back later with some more inspiration and some more card ideas for you. So see you then. Bye-bye.